In this video, we're covering the metric system. So in Australia, we use what we call the metric system, and it is a summary of all the different measurements that we use. So the first thing we're looking at is length. So here are some of the most common units you will find. The first one is meter, and we give that as an M. That's the most commonly one used. Then we have something called the millimeter, mm, centimeter, cm, kilometer, km. If you go down to mass, we have gram as a G, milligram, and we use the abbreviation mg, kilogram, kg, ton. So I'm going to slowly go through this, and then we'll get to some conversions. So time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, capacity or volume, milliliter, liter, kilometer, megaliter. Alright? And like I said, mathematicians are lazy, so we tend to use the abbreviations in the right column to summarize instead of writing the whole word. So now we're going to get down to the good part, converting between different units of measurement. So on your screen is a diagram. I strongly suggest writing these down somewhere so you can refer back to them, because they're very useful if you somehow or some way just forget those little how to convert. So with the metric system, it's nice and neat. We tend to do things in powers of 10 rather than random numbers. So for example, if I'm going from millimeters, so I'm going from millimeters here, and I want to go to centimeters. So let's say I'm here and I want to go to centimeters. All I need to do is divide by 10. Again, in another way, let's say I'm given kilometers, but I want to go to centimeters. I need to times by 1,000 first, and then times by another 100. All right. So, for example, we have convert 300 millimeters to centimeters. So I'm going from millimeters here to centimeters here, and I'm going this direction. So what I need to do is I need to go 300 millimeters divided by 10, and that gets me 30 centimeters. All right. Next, we're going to look at mass. So we have milligrams, grams, kilograms, tons, and this is nice and neat. All you need to remember is thousands. So if I'm going from milligrams to grams, divide, and if I'm going from kilograms, I say to grams, we times. So the pattern you should be starting to see is if I'm going from a small unit on this side, and I'm going this way to a big unit, what we're doing is we're dividing. So if you're going from small to big, we're dividing. Whereas if we're going from down here, let's say, we're going in the opposite direction. We're going from big to small. If you notice, we're timesing. So if you're going from a small unit to a big unit, we divide. If we're going from a big unit to a small unit, we multiply. So this time we have another question, convert 1.2 tons to grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first off mark where we are. So I'm starting at tons and I'm going to grams over here. So I'm going to need to times by 1,000 and then times by 1,000 again. So 1.2 tons times 1,000 times 1,000 equals 1,200,000 grams, right? So you can go down multiple steps. Just remember to do all the operations. So in this case, we went from tons to kilograms first, and that was this front part. And then the second part at the back, which I'll do in yellow, this part here, was going from kilograms to grams. So here we have time, same thing, seconds, minutes, hours, days, and we have what we need to do to get between each unit. So we need to convert 3,600 seconds to hours. So we're going from seconds to hours. So I'm going to be doing my divide by 3,600. So 3,600 seconds divided by 3,600 equals 1 hour. And the last one, capacity, very similar to mass, all neat 1000s. So if I'm going to convert 16,000 milliliters to liters, I know I'm going from milliliters to liters, so I'm going to be dividing by 1,000. So 16 milliliters divided by 1,000 equals 16 liters. Remember to always put your units in. So to recap what we just covered, I'm going to slowly scroll down. Feel free to pause the video to write down each of these diagrams because they are very useful when you're solving conversion problems.